Yo, what's going on guys? Arekkz here, welcome back to another Monster Hunter World video. I apologise, there haven't been any videos for the past few days. I wasn't feeling too good over the weekend, so I took a few days to rest, but I'm back now, and it looks like I chose a good day to come back because Capcom just dropped a brand new trailer for a new monster coming as soon as this week. This isn't one of those trailers where they're like, hey, there's new content coming next month. No, this is coming in 2 days. April 19th, a brand new monster, an Elder Dragon called Kulve Taroth, will be added to the game. Now, anytime a brand new trailer drops, as always, I do a complete trailer breakdown for you guys, which is what I did, but I dived straight in, did that, and only upon finishing it did I realise there was also an accompanying blog post that went live. So I'm going to go over that very quickly because the blog post shared some additional information that explains how this quest will work, because it's very different to anything we've done before, and it shows the armour as well. And then after that, I'll throw to the trailer breakdown where we go over everything shown in that video. So if you guys do enjoy this, like would be super appreciated. Comment down below if you have any questions, but let's get started. So first up, the Kulve Taroth quest is a brand new type of quest called a Siege quest. Now, to quote the blog post, Siege is a brand new limited time quest type which requires the collaborative efforts of all hunters in the same gathering hub, which can hold up to 16 hunters. Each hunting party will split off into groups of up to 4 hunters each, but will be working together to investigate and hunt down the same Kulve Taroth. As each hunting party collects more tracks and breaks off more parts from the attacking monster, they'll contribute progress to the same siege. This new quest type is designed and balanced for multiplayer, so call on your squad mates or join up a dedicated Kulve Taroth lobby, and make sure to coordinate with other hunters if you want to earn the best rewards. Now, to be clear, based on the way this is phrased, bear in mind there's still stuff that we haven't seen or heard just yet because the trailer doesn't exactly show it properly, but by the sounds of it, it's not going to be a 16-player hunt by the conventional means, i.e. you're not going to be hunting alongside 15 other hunters, because if you look at the trailer, you never saw more than 4. The way they phrased it specifically makes it sound like it's groups of hunters working on essentially the same quest, but maybe in different instances, and you're essentially working towards the same goal. Now, bear in mind, tomorrow there is a Capcom TV live stream, and there's also going to be an English live stream shortly afterwards, so we'll get some more information on this tomorrow. Hopefully they'll show some gameplay or something like that, so we can get a really good look as to how this will work out. But essentially, this is a special limited time event quest that will see an entire gathering hall of hunters work together for the same goal, which is super exciting, especially if you guys have squads together. Then there'll be a chance to, get all your squad, band together and work towards something awesome. But of course, if you don't, then you can just matchmake as you can do with any other quest. Now, the blog post also gives us a quick look at the armor set. This looks really, really cool. Of course, gold is a prevalent color with this new monster, as I'm sure you've seen from the snippets of the trailer and you'll see during the trailer breakdown. But of course, the male armor actually looks really cool. I like the horns and the helmet. And of course, the female armor looks pretty cool as well. I definitely like the helmets on both of those. I like the sort of almost blocky look to the chest piece in the male one. So definitely really excited to check that out. Obviously, we don't know what the skills are just yet. I'm really hoping for some good skills because I just want something to mix up the mixed set meta. I'd love it if these basically meant that we could start using some different pieces instead of the, current pieces we use for most of our sets. Another really interesting thing as well, going a little bit further down, a look at the weapons. Now, the blog post also says the primary goal of this siege is to repel Kulve Taroth, but its shimmering golden mantle happens to be a collection of shiny weapon relics it has gathered along its journey through the new world. We don't have much information on when and where Kulve Taroth has amassed all these relics, so the nature and quality of these weapons, in brackets read type and stats, are entirely up to fate. So basically, it makes it sound like upon defeating Kulve Taroth, you can get relic weapons, and the way that the blog post is written essentially implies that they could have random type and stats, which is really kind of interesting. And if you actually look at the picture, the greatsword on the left looks like it is sort of half Zora Magdaros and half this new monster. So maybe we're looking at some hybrid weapons with potentially some new stats, which could be really, really exciting. Also, we're going to look at the Palico armor too. That is just absolutely hilarious, just covered in golden fur, and it's got a fancy fan as well. That is probably the most flamboyant Palico armor, but I absolutely love it. So that is pretty much it for the blog post. It says that the first instance of Kulve Taroth will start on April 18th at 5 PM PT, April 19th at 1 AM BST. So basically the time that all the event stuff typically goes live. That's midnight UTC, 1 AM BST. 5 PM PT. And that essentially marks the end of the Spring Blossom event. So Spring Blossom ends, and then Kulve Taroth enters the arena. So lots of cool stuff to look forward to in a matter of days. However, as mentioned, there was also a brand new trailer, so I'm now going to throw to my trailer breakdown that I already recorded. Let you guys see that. We talk about all the stuff in there. But of course, stay tuned, because tomorrow there will be the live stream, which will be going over some more stuff. We don't know what just yet, but I imagine we'll find out a lot more information. So I will have a complete breakdown for you guys tomorrow if you want to know more about that. And then once it goes live on Thursday, expect even more videos. So keep it locked, but now let's look at this trailer. So first up, the trailer begins with a new map. Despite the fact that at some angles this might look like the Rotten Vale, this is a brand new map. Now, to be clear, that does not necessarily mean it's a new map for us to explore like the Ancient Forest, Wildspire Waste, Coral Highlands, etc. If I had to hazard a guess, based on the size of this monster that you'll see in a minute, this is probably a bespoke map for this hunt, but until we get some more information, we won't know for sure. But either way, this is a new location for us to at least venture into whilst fighting this monster. And of course, as a new map, it also comes with new wildlife. There are these cool golden bugs here, which means probably something we can catch with our nets, so I definitely want to grab the golden bugs for my house. However, on top of that, the actual theme, the gold theme, as you'll find out very shortly, is extremely prevalent in this fight. There are new areas to slide down, there are new areas to swing on. I absolutely love the wedge beetles, especially since I use the sword and shield so much. The fact that you can just swing on them on the fly with your weapon out just means it's, you can take full advantage of them. So using them to traverse your way around the level, that's going to be pretty cool. However, this next scene here confirms before we've even seen the monster that it is in fact an Elder Dragon, because of course your scout flies go blue when you're fighting either Elder Dragons or tempered monsters. And given that this is a brand new addition to the game, I'm going to assume it's not a tempered monster, it's probably just a brand new one. It's pretty big, it's pretty imposing, so it's safe to say it's an Elder Dragon. There are of course gold clumps on the floor which you'll gather from to get your tracks, as you do with any other monster. But if we then move on to the next scenes, we get our first look at the monster. We have a look at the monster's claw, again with some gold scales. There's also a quick look at the tail, some gold coverage on the body, and then it breaks through the wall, and this is our first look at Kulve Taroth. This really, really awesome looking monster. It almost looks like something from, say, like a Greek mythology with these huge spiraling golden ram style horns. Looks very, very cool. And in the next scene, we actually get our first glimpse at the sheer scale of this monster. Now this scene here probably isn't the best indication, but you can of course still see the hunters swinging via the wedge beetles, and that monster down there, the really long golden body, is Kulve Taroth. Now, this is something they haven't shown in the trailer, but I'm really hoping, look at the back of the monster, look at the way that the body almost slopes down like a ramp to the point where the tail essentially creates this flat surface on the ground. Now imagine if you can just run up the back of the monster, and more importantly, if you can slide down the back of the monster. That could be incredible. I've always spoken, like in the past, if you guys have been in live streams and stuff, how Dalamadur from previous Monster Hunters was one of my favourite Elder Dragon fights, and I would love to see like an iteration like that in World, because you could probably just slide down its back. But anyway, point is, very long golden tail that looks like it kind of drags along the floor, and therefore I'd imagine that might well be a point for you to board the monster, because this looks like a very, very large fight. Not the same kind of scale as something like Zora Magdaros or Lao Shan or Jen Moran, things like that. However, it does look considerably larger than most other monsters, so it's probably going to straddle the line between your regular hunts and the large-scale hunts. However, we then jump forward a little bit more. You can see, of course, this new map does have environmental traps that you can drop on the monster, dealing some nice damage, and it also has cannons, and I would imagine therefore probably ballista as well. So this is a large scale fight. It's not your regular fight, hence why they're giving you weapons and things like that. Also, something kind of funny in this situation, I apologise if this ruins the monster for you, but the way he falls down, do you not think he looks a little bit like a giant gold encrusted great jaguaress? Maybe that's just me, I apologise if you now can't unsee that, but either way, thought that was kind of funny. Moving on from there, we of course get another look at the monster breaking through the wall, and this is a really good shot to try and demonstrate the sheer scale of the monster. Right at the front, we of course have a hunter in full Taelstra gear with the Taelstra sword and shield, and just look at how small he is compared to the monster. Those horns alone are huge, but the way that he is just towering over them, this is going to be a really, really fun fight. And of course you can see in the next scene, that tail again being dragged along the floor. It really does look like you could just jump and run on the back of that. So I genuinely do hope they take advantage of that and let us actually run at the back of the monster, because that could be fun, especially if it's one of those things where you can basically just attack anywhere. Might well be that, say, the back is a weak spot, or maybe that's kind of one of your ways to get to the horns, because they are pretty high up. So I'd imagine you'd need to either climb it, drop rocks on it, or run up its back. Either way, then jumping over to the next scene, it stands up on its hind legs, and it's in this more volcanic looking area. This is pretty awesome. So I imagine it's going to be one of those fights where maybe for the beginning, you follow it for a little bit while it's walking through the level. That's probably where you do some damage to it, where maybe it's a little bit more passive, and then once it gets to its destination, I would imagine this is where, say, the main fight begins. It's got these spikes coming out of its chest. I imagine that's probably going to be a weak spot as well. But based on previous monster fights like this in the past, they often take that kind of format whereby the first part of the fight is you following the monster while it's just trying to get to its destination. Think about the way that you fought Lao Shan. He's sort of moving through, you do some attacks on him, and then when he gets to the final stage, the final room, that is where he really begins to fight. So yeah, it looks really awesome. This final move, of course, looks like a fire attack, so it could well be that he is a fire type monster. Maybe he's got multiple elements, or maybe that's blast, but either way, this is very cool. And then finally after that, the last scene is a golden Gadulaka, so I'm going to assume that is a new Gadulaka tribe. And then on his back, he's got this massive backpack with a load of gold in it. Now, what would be really cool, if you look at those piles on the floor, maybe they are things you can gather from, not only for tracks, but also maybe they are a way to get monster pots. So it could well be that maybe the Gadulakas gather from those, and if you don't attack them and they run away, then maybe they steal some of your resources. Honestly, I don't know, but back in the past, if you think back to the black cats that used to steal items from you, it'd be kind of cool if there was sort of a Gadulaka angle for that. Maybe you have to sort of hit them before they run away with your gold or your supplies, or I don't know, something like that. Point is, golden Gadulaka's pretty cool. But that, my friends, is pretty much it for the trailer, which is a super quick teaser trailer. But as a reminder, tomorrow there will be the Capcom TV live stream, a Japanese live stream, which I'll be breaking down for you guys and telling you all the information. I imagine we'll see much more about that. I'd really hope they would actually show some live gameplay tomorrow. That would be incredible. So if they do, then expect a full breakdown. And I think there may well also be an English live stream happening tomorrow. Socks has been recently saying on streams that there's some stuff coming. So I expect if the live stream is in Japanese, then there'll probably be an English counterpart at some point afterwards like they did before. Either way, lots of stuff happening tomorrow, so keep it locked because, of course, I'll have plenty more for you when the stream has happened. If you miss it because you're at work, then just keep it locked on the channel and I'll have all the information you could possibly need. And then, of course, the day after that, the content goes live, so I'll be jumping into the game, fighting this new monster, farming that new gear, getting those new weapons, and sharing absolutely everything that you guys want to know. So really, really excited. It's so cool to see a brand new monster like this. It looks really awesome, and from these small snippets that we've seen, I just can't wait to fight it. So hopefully you guys are excited too. Let me know in the comments down below what you think, what you liked, all that stuff like that, things that you would like to see. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, then a like would be super appreciated. But until the next one, thank you for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.